Hi, my name's Joe from MakeUseOf.com and this is the MGCool Explorer 2C action camera. This is a tiny $80 action camera. It has a built-in stabilizer, is waterproof, can shoot Ultra HD 4K video. Courtesy of MGCool, I took the time to play with one and see what it's really made of. The Explorer 2C is instantly familiar to anyone who's ever used a GoPro before. It measures a tiny 60 by 40 by 30 millimeters, or a little bit more in the included waterproof case. It can shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second, 1080p in 60 frames per second, or up to 120 frames per second for 720p. It has a 2-inch touchscreen and Wi-Fi for remote control via the Android or iPhone app. Alongside the camera, included in the box are several GoPro compatible accessories and mounts. The camera comes with a waterproof case and battery, along with a USB cable for charging. No mains charger is included. Battery life lasts about 1 hour of 4K shooting or an hour and a half of 1080p video. Because you can charge this camera via micro USB, it's possible to run it off a USB power bank. This means you can leave it running a time-lapse somewhere for days at a time. The included HDMI output is a really neat feature, but image quality is really very poor. It's about the same resolution as the built-in screen, so you really can't rely on it for anything other than quick checking of your shots. There are 4 physical buttons located around the camera. These provide basic menu navigation, along with the ability to start and stop recording. All of these buttons are accessible in the waterproof case, but as they're slightly different to the traditional GoPro ones, it means the camera won't fit into a GoPro original case. A simple but dated looking menu system provides access to every feature and function. This works very well with the touchscreen, but you can't use the touchscreen when it's in the waterproof case. Fortunately, there's an app available which connects to the camera through Wi-Fi. While this works well for the most part, allowing you to change settings and preview your image, it does have a few flaws. You can't access all the features and it's a little bit slow. The English translation could be better and sometimes it just gets confused. Anyway, it's better than nothing. The camera sometimes freaks out if you do strange things, like insert an improperly formatted memory card. While it's not a huge problem, it's something to keep in mind. I was very surprised by the image quality from this little camera. 1080p and 4K video at 30 frames per second are both excellent. Several lens styles are available, from super wide to ultra narrow, and these can be freely changed regardless of whether you're shooting 4K or not. Not something the GoPros allow you to do. While the image quality is generally really good, like many action cameras, it really struggles in low light. Shooting outdoors during the day, even with clouds around, will generally produce a good image. But if you're looking to shoot indoors, or any dimly lit scene for that matter, it really causes a problem. Pushing the ISO up does brighten the image, but then introduces a lot of noise and digital artifacts. Still, many cameras struggle with low light. This camera supports high frame rates or slow motion in the form of 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, but I don't recommend you use it. The quality goes right down even in 1080p 60 frames per second, and it's not worth using at all. Filming underwater is surprisingly good. I shoved the camera in a dirty old pond on an overcast day and it was pretty good results. As someone who owns several GoPros along with many other action cameras, I'm a big fan of time lapses. The Explorer 2C makes shooting them very easy. You can easily choose from a range of image intervals and the image quality mostly matches the video. It still has the same problems in low light, but strangely it's not possible to record a 4K time-lapse. The maximum resolution is limited to 2.7K. This is a bit unusual because shooting an image a minute, for example, is way less intensive than 30 a second, so shooting a time-lapse in 4K should be really easy. To test out how rugged this camera is, I took it on a little adventure. I attached it to my shovel and cleaned up some molehills. Then I attached it to my wheelbarrow and I accidentally smashed it into the ground. This really was an accident, but the camera survived. I then buried it in all the molehill dirt I just dug up, picked it up, washed it under a tap and cleaned it off. I subjected it to skateboarding mere millimetres off the ground, going through puddles and rain where various collisions took place. This camera handled everything I could throw at it, in part due to the chunky case. The only problem I had was that on a really wet day, the inside of the case fogged up, reducing visibility. Such a cheap camera produces really good image quality for a bargain price, so long as you don't expect too much of it. If you push the lighting too far or shoot in dimly lit environments, you really will notice the low image quality. But if you shoot in good light and you just stick to the basic 4K or 1080p, you should be good to go. Thanks for watching, and make sure you head on over to the link in the description below for our full review. Make sure you leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to MakeUseOf for more weekly news, tutorials, reviews and giveaways.